Welcome back to the AI Jupiter Live. I'm your host, Tom Franklin. Today we're going to be having on Mark Savnik. He did give me a thumbs up. I guess he's running a little bit late because I did contact him and said I wanted to start 15 minutes early. I do not know who Magic's guest is as of yet, but hopefully he will write me, or maybe Pam could put it in the comments. That way I can promote. Magical Journey will be up right after this show at 7:15 p.m. Central Time. So I start 15 minutes early. He starts 15 minutes later. That way, he gives me an hour and a half. Like I said, my guest did give me the thumbs up, and he will be here soon. So, if you keep finding yourself coming back to the AI Jupiter channel, please do me a favor, like and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and share the channel if you enjoy the content and you have like-minded friends, which maybe we don't, because we all seem to live in a world full of some normies still. But, slowly but surely, hopefully with the type of content I put out, we can start to change them to produce a type of whirlpool effect of positive energy going into this weirdness that they seem to want us to live in, which keep us in our five senses and that, this, that, and the other. So please go ahead and do that. I'm still trying to figure out how to stream Rumble. That was a bit of a strange. I looked into it right before the show, and that was it's still a mystery to me. You can also find me. I'm streaming live to Facebook. I'm streaming YouTube. I'm streaming live to Twitch. So if you have anybody who digs, it's an old game I'm playing with my daughter on the NES. If anybody digs Twitch, other than gaming, want to watch some interesting content about werewolves and psychedelics and Bigfoot and ghosts and films and whatever I get into over here. So go ahead and tell them, hey, Tom's over on Twitch. You can also download these episodes, guys. Each and every one of them, it would be found, pretty much on every streaming platform at the moment, except for iTunes, because I haven't gotten to it yet. I'm very busy. I don't know if you can see my hands, but they're very dirty because I was mixing a ton of concrete today and laying in rocks. But nonetheless, we are here. Like I said, I am still currently waiting on the person. He is live in Slovenia. So right now it is, I think, 7-hour difference. So it's midnight over there. So let's go over and look into the comments. Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's go back for a second. Hold on. If you guys want some t-shirts, they're here. I believe that I did fix the. It was brought to my attention that the the merchandise link was incorrect. Thank you, Pam. As always, she's got my back, and she also kicks me in the butt once in a while. Make sure I do the right thing. She goes, "Tom, your link doesn't work," and I go, "Really?" So I fixed all that. I have to go back through every video I did on YouTube to fix that. There's a way to fix that with one click. I haven't figured that out either. It's called Tubi, and it is also super confusing, which is going to be, I think, the moniker for this show, confusing. So let's go over to the comment section and see who's everyone's here. Let's go ahead and say hi to everyone. We have, of course, the wonderful Pam. Welcome to the Eye of Jupiter, she says. If you have an encounter, please go ahead and contact me. There's my email, the Eye of Jupiter podcast at gmail.com. Hey, my guest is here, so let's go through these comments real quick. Let's see. Audacious Amber's here. Hello, Amber. Hello, Tim from Ohio Bigfoot Researchers. He was on with me Wednesday. I did talk to your wife. Everything's under control. We're going to be taking care of that. Fisher Spams the Night Watch is here. Hello, Jim. And yeah, so all the way from Slovenia, ready to rock the house, my friend, Mark Savnik.
Hello. You can hear
Hello.
me well?
We're running a little late today, are we?
Well,
yes. You sound great.
How late are we?
You are 8 minutes late. 8 minutes late.
Well, it's a good
Hello,
number, 8,
Sandra
I think.
Desky. Hello. 8 is I think, isn't that a lucky number? I don't know, man. My lucky number has always been 13. I don't know what that means, but it's always been my lucky number.
I think 8 is abundance.
So it's been a minute since I've seen you, my friend. Yes, it's all if you lay it sideways. So it's been a minute since I've seen you. How was your Christmas? How was your New Year's? How was the fam?
Oh, was it that long?
It's been a minute, dude. It's been a minute.
I watched the two interviews that we had, the two conversations that we had. So in my mind it's like maybe a week. I
I
rewatched
kind of
it.
ran through. We did the New Jersey situation. I kept calling it what did I call it? New Jerky. Like it was a slip up that I had. I actually listened to it again a little bit myself. And
New
so we
Jerky.
have some interested people in here. We have Sandra Desky, who I don't remember. She also has some type of situation. I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but I know she's connected with our friend Michael Cameron, which we in February we'll have an episode with you and Michael on at the same time. And she's also, I believe, either was in, currently is still in, or has experiences with the Super Soldier program. I don't know. I don't want to speak for her. I think she was maybe born in Germany, shit like that. But she's today. She says she wants to come and check out, get some more information about the things that you've experienced to kind of because we're trying to like unravel this a little bit. It's a lot for me as well. And Michael, he goes, okay, what's the name of your friend again? I said, it's Mark. Okay, what's the episode? I sent him the episode. He goes, oh, he sounds like a cool guy. So that's also going to be a very interesting episode.
I have to be honest, I didn't listen much.
No question there, just some comments.
What? Oh, it's a little bit of lag, I think. What was the last thing you said?
Do you not hear? There's some. I said it wasn't no question there, just a bit of.
I'm waiting for you to. Okay.
Cereal. Yeah,
No,
but
it's
I mean, my
not
connection
cereal.
looks good on my side. What is it?
Not cereal.
Muesli.
It's
Oh,
no.
okay.
It's how do you call this? Peach. Peach in the in the jar.
Peach.
How do you say the thing? Peach in a jar. How do you say that?
Yeah, canned peaches.
Well, it's not canned. It's in a glass jar. Still canned?
My connection looks good. Oh,
Yeah, this happens every time.
All
I
right,
think
so you
this
get it in
is
a glass jar in Europe. That's nice.
yeah, this is. I
No,
think this
they
is
don't
a
have it here.
recalibration of the universe. It happens every time. This.
See, look right here. He wrote See, someone from America wrote canned peaches. Thank you, Jim. We call it canned peaches. It comes in a can. Pickled peaches? No.
Yeah, we don't have the can for this. We have just a very nice glass jar. Looks much cooler
Okay,
from the
dude.
outside.
Do me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Introduce yourself to my live audience. Let them know a little bit. I know you're hungry because you've been working all day. I know it's midnight, but introduce yourself.
Here.
Let everyone know 1 o'clock in the morning. And he's on with us, guys. Let everyone know who you are and what you're here to talk about today.
So, hello everyone. My name is Mark Savnik. Weird surname. So, Slovenia is my country. Very nice, very small country near Italy, Croatia, Austria. We have a little bit of sea, a little bit of mountains, a little bit of everything. Very nice people here, a lot of good heart, and also a lot of strange things happening. So what I do is I research. I'm an experiencer, and I also research UFO paranormal topics. When I say research, I mean more or less talk to people who have had encounters or experienced this phenomena firsthand. And of course, I also try to talk to people who are part of the media, and I've been on the national coverage, TV coverage, like you guys have 60 Minutes and the radio show for the whole nation, blah, blah, blah. Lots and lots of this type of appearances. So the main how do you say, the main similarity that I notice is that a lot of our reporters are not taking this topic very seriously, but as from 2018 to this date that we are, it's 2025 now. January, what's today? This date 18, I think, 17th, right?
17th.
Yes.
Well, 18th where
So
you are. 18th where you are.
right, 18, yeah. 18 2025. The reporters and everybody else, including the faculty members from different universities and some science guys and etc., are getting more and more interested, very very far away from what I've expected, but still, let's call it a healthy interesting development on the UFO, UAP, and the interesting phenomena front. So I do a lot of deep dives with people, and I found out to just finish this introduction of what I found out so far is that a lot of people had experiences, a lot. Truly, when I say a lot, I mean a lot. I'm talking about 35% approximately of
Wow.
all the people. Yeah. And this is just live audience. This is not even audience who knew that we were going to talk about UFOs. And they're just sort of, and I'm talking about everything, right? Any phenomenon that is considered paranormal. So, and they're just sort of not, they're reluctant to talk about this because, as I felt and I still feel, that people will think I'm weird, loony, not not talking truthfully and so forth, blah blah blah. And the conclusion
Huh?
that I want to sort of emphasize here for me is that it's this phenomena. So let's say this contact that we are all having is more and more frequent, and this for me is a very important message for all of us. And I'm sure most of you have had that are watching now have had some experiences, or someone who had an experience.
Wow. Yes. True. We have a few members on the side here. Jim being one of them for sure. Who's had he did a CE5
Hmm.
for 4 days, and then on the fifth day when he decided to stop, he actually had a visitor in his driveway who actually took over his body and made him disarm his pistol and sent him to sleep. So he's had some wild experience as well. Maybe you should get in contact with him. He runs a podcast too called, here he is right here, Fisher Spams the Night Watch. He's one of my moderators who's had a very very interesting experiences.
So let me just repeat this. So the C5 experience, so basically making contact through awareness, meditation, high consciousness with the ETs, with the extraterrestrials. And on the
Yeah.
day 5, or day 4, he had
I
an
think if I
experience.
remember right, Jim, you can tell me. Yeah, he stopped because his wife had to work or something, so he couldn't. He had, the children, or no, he didn't have children at the time. Maybe can't remember
Mhm.
exactly. Um, and he stopped because she had to work, and he's like, tonight I'm just going to relax. And then on that night, he kept hearing things outside, and his wife kept sending him out. Hey, I need to sleep. Uh, and it was a pretty wild. It's actually, I have a recorded episode of it, and it was pretty insane. His encounter.
So this is very late for me. I apologize. I work at school. I get up at 6 a.m. and it's like 3 hours past my bedtime now. So I'm a bit laggy, like jet lagged or
No
some.
milk and cookies, peaches, right? No milk and cookies, peaches.
Yes, yes. So I was like, "Whoa, what?" So what? His gun couldn't work, or what? Can you just do the? Can you explain the little tiny short version again? What happened?
So he's a friend of mine. We kind of work in tandem on the podcast. He helps me, I help him. I show up on his show, he shows up on my show. And
Mm-hmm.
one of his experiences, he's had quite a few. He's had Dogman. He's had quite a few experiences. There you go. He's hungry. He tried CE5 for, I think it was 4 days, and on the 5th day when he didn't do it, that's when this it's like 7-foot tall entity showed up in his driveway, and it scared the living daylights out of him.
Oh, this is the episode that you have named Dogman. That's the episode.
No, it's CE5 Contact Gone Wrong. I think it's the name of it.
Oh, so 7-foot tall creature. And
Yes.
what is there an interaction? Is there communication? Is there what type of exchange? Positive? What?
Yeah,
How?
there was some mind speak. It was like go inside. If I wanted to off you, if I wanted to unlive you, I would have done so by now. Just go inside. So he kind of ran inside, grabbed his pistol. Hello, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
How's it going? And then sat in his I think recliner or his chair facing the door, and the thing said go to bed. And then it literally took control of his body. He took the clip out, took the round out of the chamber. He set the gun down, and he's screaming in his head, no, I got to protect my wife. And he went to bed and woke up screaming, or woke up in a very awkward. Yeah, it was pretty wild. I'm just saying, you were discussing that somebody probably or somebody that you've been in contact with has had an experience, and this is just one of the people that are in the chat right now that I know who has had an experience, and I just wanted to bring it up for the audience to hear.
Right. So what you want to talk about? We can go many ways here, of course. Do you want to open up for questions?
I want to slightly touch upon the super soldier program and your involvement in it, and what your experiences have been so far, because that's how I kind of promoted it as, because there's certain people that I'm now in contact with who are just trying to connect and understand it.
So I can see the chat, right? I can see their questions, right?
I think so. Maybe.
Exit full screen.
Do you see comments? Comments on the side?
I see comments. I see comments. Yes. So I would be very grateful if you guys could give feedback to just get to just see what you're familiar with and what you are less familiar with, and what you're more interested.
Yeah, Sandra's here. Sandra Dusky. I think she's had something to do with it. So she just wants to we're trying to connect the people. And Michael Kramer from England, who's a big staunch against this, has a book about it, is outspoken about it, has been on my channel a few times. And I just want to kind of be that medium to connect people, to get this out to more and more people, so they don't feel so alone in these experiences.
Chris Kramer, are you familiar with Randy Kramer? So I'm talking about the whistleblower 20 and back. Yes. Whistleblower, hello. Whistleblower Randy Kramer, I believe it's his name. He was on Gaia TV. That is US based program that you pay for, like Netflix, but only alternative spiritual stuff. He's a whistleblower one-off. Jason, one of the whistleblowers. So Jason Rice is one of them as well. And there's one SEAL guy, SEAL team guy, who's also really, I love him. Yeah, Randy Kramer. Do you know what is the SEALs guy, the guy from SEAL Team 6 or whatever it was? Anyway, so what I've noticed is, if you guys remember, we talked about it on the previous episode, the Super Soldier film program. I remembered it. So this is the way I remember stuff. I'm gradually remembering more and more. I remembered it when I was looking at a very young age at the film Jean-Claude Van Damme. It wasn't named Super Soldier. I forgot the name. But
I think it was a Universal Soldier.
Yes, Universal Soldier, exactly. Basically, they get boosted, and they're capable of many different things. And what Randy Kramer talks about, and he's really, you don't know him? Do you know him, Randy Kramer? I'm not talking.
I do
I'm
not
talking
know.
to.
I do
Okay.
not know Randy Kramer. No.
So he basically states publicly all of this that I will be mentioning, state publicly with clear, let's say, intention that they want to disclose that they were in a super soldier 20 and back, potentially not all of them, but super soldier, let's call it, program, which means that they were on other planets and in contact with different extraterrestrial beings, several races usually, and they had missions which usually meant they were doing some soldier stuff. So they went on the show. They go to the regression therapy, and I think they all of them or most of them do the checking if they're truthful, the lie detector test, and they all passed this. And also my test is when I look at them, I try to see if they, they feel truthful to me, and they definitely did. And everything that they tell, and of course Corey Good, the big one, is Corey Good, the big whistleblower on this is Corey Good, who's done many introductions to these topics in various ways. What Corey Good explains is, if we just delve into this straightforward, is that we have blue avians, if you guys are familiar with this. So they look like birds, basically, tall blue alien beings, and they also have a higher density version of these beings, which are blue orbs that are capable of being very small or very large, and they're basically helping us transition from this, let's say, slave situation that we were and still partially are, to the freedom part of our planet and this part of the universe. And
Wow.
yeah, you don't know anything about this?
No, I am learning. You guys are teaching me. I just people and they're just connecting with me, and I'm learning at the same time. Most of my audiences as well. And if I have questions, then we'll figure it out, man. Because I know a little bit about the Super Soldier program. I know about the alters, and what
do
they
you mean
do. A
alters?
lot of alters is how Michael Cameron describes it. It's like the way I understood it is that it's a fragmentation of the mind, and then they can take symbols and they can take certain keywords or certain triggers is a word that he used, and they can take that and then you go like the part of you goes into like an avatar, and now you're out doing these battles, and sometimes it's very gruesome and horrifying, and yeah, so I'm slowly picking up on it. It's completely new to me, not completely,
It is
maybe
a
4
lot.
months, but it's a lot to get into.
It's a lot. It's a lot. So I would just real quick ask if any of the people here have had any of this type of experiences themselves, maybe. And the second part is, if you're familiar with Corey Good, do you find him credible? And I will, when we wait for the answers, and Randy Kramer, do you feel he's credible for you? I'm very interested in this. For you personally, of course, everybody, or Jason Rice potentially. And I would just say this: my experience is that I'm remembering things from this life. I'm 44 years old. I got information in advance, and this is really weird for me. So when I've heard these whistleblowers talk about stuff, I remembered some stuff, and it sort of confirms. But it's such a wild story altogether that I myself have a lot of difficulties believing it. Just because even if I tell it to myself, it's of course really weird. If I tell it to someone else, it's like super, super weird. But it feels, it really rings true when it resonates. It resonates, and it is a deep dive, which means I feel that there's stuff to uncover, and I personally want to take it slow. So I didn't have a lot of, let's say, difficult trauma, experiences coming back, blah blah blah. I didn't have that so far, not very intense at least. But I think I'm getting prepared for this, and I'm definitely prepared to go on the lie detector test, and primarily, of course, the regression, which I have done a little bit, but not a lot. And I'm interested in how to do this. So this is one of the reasons why I'm, checking these guys out many times to see how they are transforming, if how their progression is going, because they're all remembering, all of these guys that I mentioned, they're all remembering this. And I'm my question is this, to just maybe simplify everything. What's going on this planet? Why are we learning about this now? And why is it important, this everything that's happening around this super soldier program, which basically says we have contact with other alien beings, and we're helping them, they're helping us, we're interacting, and it's this life, this let's say very advanced life is happening, right? And we are kept in the dark on this planet. Majority of the population is kept in the dark, even us that were, let's say, I'm presumably one of them. I'm not 100% sure. I would say yes, but let's say it's possible that I'm mistaken. And we are sort of figuring this out, if this is true for ourselves, and we get confirmation, which basically means that this information is compartmentalized, which means they don't want us to remember, right? And I'll just stop talking now and let's see what they have.
No. Just people just kind of chiming in. Let's see. So we actually do have a question from Sandra Desky. She's saying, "So do you see the Super Soldier program as a positive thing?"
Well, that's a very good question. So it's not. I believe, like you've mentioned the previous time, Tom. Well, we've sort of we were discovering it together. It's probably not just one program, and it's many versions of this. And what I've gathered so far is what I see positive. We'll try to find as much positive as we can in all of these topics. Is this
Right,
we
man.
are going from the dark to the light, which means our consciousness at this moment in time is expanding, and this is why we can, we are allowed to know more, let's say like this. And we are also having more and more experiences. For me, that is a very big and very significant telltale sign, let's say evidence, that this is actually happening. So there's a plan for the full planet. How do we know? Because a lot of people have experiences. So this is like a huge undeniable, right? The second undeniable is the disclosure of UFO, UAP, alien races, and so forth. Maybe without glasses is better, because it blocks the light and it's weird. You can't see my eyes. So the parts of the government are cooperating, especially in the US. You can see it. Part of the government is saying, no, we are not sure how to, we're gonna maybe lie a bit more. And part of the government and the military is saying, oh yes, UFOs are totally real. They're far beyond what we are capable of. And we if they decide to do something, we are totally unable to compete with them, which basically means what does that mean? It's really wild. So it's tough to say that as the world's #1 military. Look, guys, they're here, they're much more capable and powerful, and we're just sort of catching up. We don't know shit. That's the yeah. What are the questions, Tom? Is it if it's positive, right?
I'm just we don't have much more. We don't have many questions. I just had somebody, send a $10 donation to Super Chats. Thank you very much,
Nice.
Austin, my buddy Austin over at the Dead Chronicles. Austin Lawrence. Yeah,
You
yeah.
lost it.
He's starting a. He has an amazing. He has an amazing documentary, I think you would call it, that he's coming out with. So it's going to be. We're really looking forward to it. When it comes out, he's going to come back on. So we do actually have a question from my buddy Chris Kramer in Arizona. So who is being helped? Who is gaining from this? The common threads connecting the lateral phenomenon Sasquatch are definitely there. He's had a lot of like mind speaking connection with the Force people, as he calls them, the GAN. And there he is. Michael Kerman's here. Hey. So let's go ahead and fire away with this question first. Who's being helped? Who's gaining from this? I guess he was saying. Who is gaining from this super soldier program?
It's probably not just the super soldier program who's gaining from this. I would say just an overall overarching, how would you say, hypothesis from my research is this. We are definitely, as a population, we are definitely being woken up, right? Jolted like electricity current of higher consciousness. And those of us who are ready, who are also present today, we are here. We are definitely ready for more, and we are also given more. And we can see, yes, we can see the general population is like.
That's why you and I. That's why you come on my show, man. That's exactly why I invited you, because that statement right there aligns so much with my heart, dude. Like you said,
Yeah,
we're here, and whatever it is they're putting out there, we're wanting to know more, we want to understand more, and we're here for it. And that's
yes.
incredible, dude. Thank you so much for saying that. You said it. You took the words right out of my mouth, dude. Thank you.
Well, I mean, we'll all the words that are coming out of my mouth are definitely something that we conjured up together. It's not. I'm half asleep, basically, in a good way. In a good way. So a little bit of meditation, a little bit of the drug. No, not good substances. Just chocolate and peach. I think that's all good, and a little bit of dizziness, which helps with the connection, I think. Dizziness as in I'm a little bit tired. So I think that they're allowing us more and more of the information to come through, and we're getting together and we're talking through a lot of podcasts, a lot of let's say good talks. To just, the emphasis is on good talks. We're allowing each other to have different experiences, different opinions, right? Which I would love to see, especially in the US, which I think you guys are the forerunners. I would love to see you, all have a good time in these forums, all of these UFO people. Austin Lawrence, Lawrence of Arabia.
No, Austin Lawrence, the Dead Sea Chronicles. Go, get ready for that, guys. It's coming out soon. I'm just trying to promote some people at the same time. Questions are coming in. It's a whole group. We have questions. We have people who are. We have actually a really cool. Honestly, it's a small group, but it's a very, very tight knit community, and he's one of the really good guys in this whole area of, whether it be, he's really into the paranormal, and he really gets down to the nitty gritty. He's in connection with our good buddy, the dude from Florida, the funniest guy on earth. The name is escaping me at the moment. I had a long day myself. So it's just a conglomeration of people who've either been on the show before, who have something to say, who have questions. We do have a question from Chris again. It was talking about what have we gained from any of the technology? Is there any technology being gained through this program?
Let's talk about gains, and I think you guys are the perfect audience for this. So there's several layers to this type of gains. Let's talk. I'll just whatever comes. The gains that we can't deny are we feel more, we connect with each other and with all the entities and with all the life in this universe more. That's undeniable. I mean, for everyone who's waking up, that's undeniable. Maybe you can't really pin a name on that happening, but it's there, right? It's there. So that's for sure a big one, which is basically a proof by itself that something big is happening, right? And then there's the next sort of layer, which is noticeable to the less woken up public, which is there's a lot of science, applicable science right now out there, that is way beyond, it's considerably better for humanity, and it's very, let's say, the right type of science. I'll just give a brief example. Brilliant light power, brilliant cell power from New York. It's a So they've discovered a new, I think it's Dr. Mills from New York. They've discovered a new state of hydrino, and when this state is achieved, it basically emits a lot of energy. And they have these devices already, let's say, almost at the mass production stage, and they have money, they're basically all alive, right? Which is a big thumbs up for this new power source, which is 200 times cheaper than anything else that we have, including sun and natural gases and everything. And this is almost operational. So Dr. Mills from New York, brilliant light power, I think it's the web page, and it's also new physics, and they've written a new physics model for that encompasses everything that was so far not really, you couldn't really align all the mathematics and the physics, and it was somehow weird. What they've done now with these new discoveries is everything aligns a lot better, and we can this new state of hydrino allows us to just put these boxes anywhere really and power up to, I don't know, 50, 60 households, planes, cars, anything. And it's very clean energy, no fire, no usual problems, right? No danger for people around, blah blah blah. So really, really nice. And there's a lot of this, to just finish this so that don't take too long. There's a lot of this type of technologies that are coming out and are not that they're allowed to be, if you know what I mean. It's not like Tesla, right? That Edison, I don't know what really happened, but basically we are not practicing this today. His discoveries, right? We are being charged for electricity.
So there's a bit of a quarrel on the side, and I mean this in the best possible way. I don't know, Sandra. I don't know all the details and in and outs of it, but I do know Michael's story quite well. There's a lot of trauma involved with, like, childhood trauma. These children are taken, they are being manipulated, and they are being put into these programs. And they're saying, the people on the side, that I don't see how that's a good thing. I think what Mark is trying to say, if I may so, yes, I think what Mark is trying to say is that, yes, these bad things have happened. We at this present moment are not able to change that circumstance. We're trying to get it out and blow up the whistle. So blowing that whistle will be a positive thing. But at the same time, when tragedy happens, there's always a silver lining in the cloud. Is that correct, Mark? Is that what you're trying to say? There's, even though all these horrible things have happened to these children who have been in these programs, Montauk and alike, there's something positive to come out of it, because it's been so negative that what Mark is saying now, that we're together, that we're even talking about it, is the positivity in it. Is that correct, what you're trying to say, buddy?
So, I mean, all the Holocaust, all the many stuff that we don't know, some we know, some we don't know, has happened and is happening, right?
Yes.
Let's be perfectly clear. There's a lot of shit going on in the world right now, and a lot of, significant part of it is very bad, much worse than we probably know, and a lot of slavery in this universe, etc., etc. So basically, what I'm researching is this: what are the very clear signs that we are on the up up path, which means that we are being liberated, and there's clear signs that we are winning the battle. That's I think that's, for me at least, that's the most important thing.
So you're saying through all the oppression, all the bad things, in the world, all the slavery, all the the trafficking of sorts that we can't talk about, the island where somebody was part of, and all the things, all the wars, all the destruction, all that, we're being so much more interconnected. Even though we've dealt with this and we are still constantly dealing with it at this present moment, we are winning. That's what he's saying. That's the positivity of it. All the signs that Mark has been seeing with his connections with the other alien life forms that he's been in contact with, he's saying that we are on the upsweep. That's the positivity in it. So guys, don't
Yes.
get your panties in a
Yes.
tussle.
Yes. If my
There we
mic is
go.
too loud
There
or
it
too
is.
low,
I'm glad we were able to get that understood. Mark's a good guy, and he means the best. That's what he means when he's saying. I'm pretty damn sure, guys.
no, I'm not. I didn't really read the comments, but there's a lot of. So let's be very clear and maybe understandable. We have a lot of emotions when these things that are being uncovered now, these situations, everything that is going on is being released, and we're experiencing this. And it's very normal to be either upset or have some sort of a reaction. I have them all the time, and it's really good that we have a lot of ways to help us with this. And being part of any type of program, even just the military, of course, this is a lot. I'm not downplaying the military experience, Tom, but
No.
Everything is, even just being a child on this planet can be very traumatic. So especially if you are very sensitive, which I believe a lot of us are, and I work with children, and I see that there's more and more very sensitive children. So what I'm not sure if we want to talk about the super soldier program, but the whole story is this. I believe that the planet Earth is being liberated, and it's taking some time. And the headline is 2027, 2030 at the latest. That's what I got through my connection, which the message was very clear. We will have
let's go into that. Let's go into the messaging, how you got the messaging, and what that message is.
Yeah, so we will. The planet Earth will have an experience. All of us will have experience or experiences that will open all of our eyes to the fact that we are being visited, and that we have different races here. Basically, that we have been visited for a very long time, and that this interaction is ongoing with different alien races, right? And that is, for me, a huge step, which, the conversation is quite open right now, but I want it to be much more open, as I'm sure you do. And there's a lot of stuff to talk about. So I think it's a process. It's like a healing process. And yeah.
So to try to encapsulate that bit in the moment where everyone was kind of like on edge because they didn't quite understand what your message is. Let's put it in the context that everyone understands. Everyone here, within us, are at least 15 to 20 years old and above, experience some type of loss, whether it be a family member, a friend, a pet. All those things can be very dramatic. But I know myself the way I am, and I think most people have that as well, is that if you are at the funeral and someone cracks a joke of a particular person, like, every Sunday he would get up and, he would do some crazy stuff and nobody understood why. And we would laugh, and it kind of takes away a little bit of that loss, awfulness, that feeling that begins there. And that's what Mark is saying we are at this point, and now, okay, sucks, but we're going to move in a positive direction to get to where we need to go. And we should, even though this is something that is transpired and continues to transpire, that we need to go and continue on the positive track that we are now currently on. And that's all he's trying to say. So now to get back to this messaging, you have had contact with entities. Do you have victims? How many have they been, and how have they contacted you?
So we had 2 interviews, and if you're interested, and if this whatever I will say now gives you a feeling that you should dive deeper into this, I suggest you look at these 2 episodes and probably many others that you have, right? So do a little bit of research, see where you're pulled towards. And I would say this, that I've had from the very young age, I've had a part of the messages were very clear. So, for example, what's about to happen or what will happen in many, many years. And I've had many hundreds of, I have a list and I did a checkbox. It happened. So confirmations, I've had many confirmations. And it's not, how do you say, it's not unmistakable because I am learning. But the big ones are very true, and one of the big ones was, if, for example, which one should I give to you? Is when I was, for example, I was watching at a very young age. I was watching E.T., Steven Spielberg movie. So I didn't at that time know anything about aliens, anything about really anything that we are talking about today. And I'm watching that movie and I get very clear messages about the healing that I will get through my life. And I have very clear message that the powers that we have on planet Earth are trying to skew the message, to direct the message when we look at the alien topic, the extraterrestrial topic, and make it less positive, or let's say just very directly negative, and that we won't have a lot of films like the positive one that I believe, more or less positive one, that is Steven Spielberg's E.T. You know the film, right, Tom?
Yes,
E.T.
yes,
directs,
I know E.T.
Yeah, you think it's positive?
Yes, I do believe
Yes.
it's positive.
Yes. And when I saw that, if you remember, he heals the plants, right? E.T. heals, there's a flower that are sort of like this, and he does something with the energy, right? And they go like, they heal, right? And he does the lifting of the planets. And they go with the bike, right? They go with the bike, right?
Yes.
Right. So a lot of cool stuff happens. And I've had the healing energies where the plants were going like this were not really explained because I was a child. I don't know, 7 years. I don't remember. I was born in 1980. But it was sort of clear to me that this is something that will be available to us, to me, partially, right? Partially, when I'm saying this, it's I will notice this in my life, and I did, right? Not just healing powers, but also seeing things in advance, having a clear understanding of what is the truth and what is, who is trying to manipulate us and so forth, right? So I could, at a quite young age, see that church, the way that it was positioned in our country, was really not good. Energetically, that was when I was 7 or 6. It was weird, and many other stuff happened. Maybe if I should go back to the messages, I had a couple of very clear messages, one saved my life. I was underwater, and I went through the second barrier, and it basically a very clear voice. To give you an example of a very clear message, a very clear woman's voice. So I was alone underwater, right? About 70 meters. I went like this, 3 meters down, and then 75 meters through the second barrier. After the second barrier, you don't have the reflex, which means that you just pass out, right? And I was about to pass out, I know now, when a very clear female voice said, Mark, it's time to go up. So no rush, no hurry, no urgency, no, just very clear. I could even say kind, right? But not like you would talk to a child. Just
And
very clear. And
you were actually swimming. This was an actual swimming, or you were doing some type of, or you were
so
doing
yes,
something else. This is a dream, maybe.
no, this is a real life event. I was swimming and I was trying to go. So I dive into the water 3 meters deep, and then I go 3 meters on the same depth, 3 meters below the water, the surface ocean water, right? I swim for about 75 meters. You understand?
Okay.
So that's 200 feet, I think, right? Times 3 is the feet, right? So that's
Okay.
quite an achievement for
Yes.
for professional divers. No, of course not, right? But for someone who does this,
Yeah.
yeah, that's quite impressive. But I was trying to go further than I usually go. So my usual distance was about 40, 50, maybe a little bit more, and I went to the second barrier, which was the first time. And then you get more and more cocky because you're sort of like a bit dizzy and you lose sense a little bit. You're like a little bit
Okay.
drunk. And it was a very clear voice. And the second experience, which I also explained on your show, was that I've seen this. Which one should I do? Do you want me to tell you a fresh one, or did you like the one on the field with my
Whichever.
dog? And
Do the fresh one, whichever one you feel most comfortable with. But sure, whichever one you'd like. To be honest
the
with you.
very fresh one was this. About 6 months ago, I had a message, very clear message, that I will start to work more and more on this podcast type of thing, discussing these topics, exactly these topics that we are discussing now. And many people will be interested in this. And I'm not talking about the huge numbers as much as I'm talking about the how would you say the genuine interest in this topic,
Uh-huh.
which really I was surprised how many people are very deeply interested in all of this. Not just, let's say, super soldier or just ETs, but there's so much like you say, Tom, there's so much beautiful stuff that we can talk about. And this is what I really want to talk about, because all of the other stuff is boring for me. So I got a clear message about this, and I got a very clear
Okay.
that I will be doing this, right? And I got a very clear
Yeah.
message about 2027, 2030, right? And then I saw, because it was wild, the message was very wild to me because there was no urgency. That's weird for me. If I would be telling you, right, you're let's say I'm your overseer soul or your teacher, whatever, I would imagine I would do, Tom, look, man, let's sit down, have a beer or whatever, coffee, tea. Look, things are going down, man. I would explain everything. I would tell you as much as I can, make sure you understand, really emphasize it's important to do this. And there's none of that going on. It's like I would just tell you, it's this date, you will do this now. And that's it. And there's nothing else. And I'm like grasping for information. I'm like, well, what about more? What about the? And
Right.
it's weird. Yeah. But also it seems
No, so
very natural.
I think what you're trying to really do is like, okay, you've had these experiences that I believe you definitely, dude. What you're basically really trying to do is okay, guys, we're here. The people who are listening to, who want to hear it, are ready to listen. Let's talk. Let's have these open discussions. Let's be honest and truthful with ourselves as well as others if they possibly want to listen. And let's move on from here to this particular event that's going to happen. So how do we do that? Where do we go from here? What is our next steps as a human race to get to this positive affirmation?
Well, I think the very clear step, one of the positive steps is that we talk about this, that we allow ourselves and each other to recognize that we actually are having this experience. And I think just this part is, can I curse? Is fucking huge.
Yeah,
It's
that's
huge.
fine.
It is a freaking huge, whatever the not. It's huge. That we are actually having this experience, that everything is opening up. So, we have beneath the earth a lot of stuff, in the ocean a lot of stuff going on, and the universe is teeming with life. That for me is like, yes, and what I was really fascinated about is that if you look at the galaxy, right? If you look at the galaxy, we are one of the arms or the fingers or whatever, and we are on the
Arms, yeah,
edge. Yeah, arms. We are
right.
on the edge, and in the center, that's where a lot of things are happening. Which is basically, we are in the so this is downtown, or how you folks call this, right? And we are on the suburbs, or even not, maybe in a little village or something like that. And that's, which means for us, for me, right here, right now, there's so much going on. I need 15 lifetimes, to just, this, everything's going. And then if you go even deeper into the galaxy, to the center, there's so much more stuff they explained. So, I would love to do that, to go and to see and to experience all of this. And I believe we will. So I firmly believe that in our lifetimes, in the next 10, 15, whatever years, we will be maybe even sooner, we will be able to travel openly, and there's no problem, portals and etc. So there's no long traveling time and stuff. Many species, many
Uh-huh.
different cultures. That's beautiful. If you have questions,
Okay,
just go.
so
Just you can.
yeah, that's type them in all caps like Pam just wrote in the message there. So what you're doing is like, okay, so what you're trying to say is, okay, so disclosure has more or less happened. More or less happened.
It's a
These
gradual
people are
thing,
coming
but it's a
for,
process.
it's a
Yes.
gradual it's a process, but more or less we are coming to the acceptance of this. So we to get into the next part, the evolutionary tract of being part of this universe, not just a single solitary planet that we believe. We need to open our hearts and minds to this
Right.
concept and idea, and know that it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's a good thing. There's going to be a lot of bumps and bruises along the way, but that's who we are. That's
Right.
what makes us who we are. Isn't that the great thing about being a human?
Yes.
Is the things that are inaccurate. Like when you listen to old Beatles songs, you mean to tell me they hit every one of those notes correctly? No. Or if you listen to Alice in Chains, like there's a song called Rotten Apple. If you listen, I think it's 30 seconds in, something like that. There's a super strong fret buzz when he's hitting one of the chords, and it's crazy sounding, but they left it in there because that that mistake is what makes us who we are. But it's
Right.
okay that we need to accept who we are, love ourselves, not listen to the outside influences who want to infiltrate our minds, because this is what it is, guys. It's a war of consciousness. It's a war of concepts and ideas. And how do you change the hearts and minds of others is by knowing who we are. Go to your, like I always tell you guys, go to your neighbors, talk to them. I do it here in Mexico. I go to them all the time. The other day, this is no joke. I was trying to get my clothes washed at the laundromat, and the guy was in there, but he was sleeping. I guess he had a long night. And I guess they were on break, so I went like around noonish, I suppose. I don't remember. A lady across the street that I barely know. I've seen her a couple times. Hi, I'm on my way to the store, grabbing a beer, whatever I'm doing. Hey, hello, friendly and kind. She goes, hey, sweetheart, don't worry about that. Here, give me your clothes, and I'll take it there, and I'll take care of it for you. I go back about 3 hours. I give her the money. I said, if you need any more, let me know, and I'll pay for it. She goes, okay, no big deal. She takes it. I go over there to the laundromat. I say, hey, did you get the stuff? And they were like, yes. I said, was the money enough? They said, yes. And here's your change. And the lady across the street goes, yeah, I took care of it. The change should be about 30 pesos, which is like a $1.50. And they gave me $1.50. Everything good. And then I seen her. And then now when I see her, hi, how are you today? How have you been? The weather's nice because this is a nice part of the year here in Mexico. It's not so incredibly hot at the moment. And it's a good thing. We make mistakes. That's why I enjoy stand-up. I love the process of like messing up, not being able to tell the jokes correctly. But at the same time, we all get to laugh together. Yes, and I did a spot yesterday, and I'll be doing at least one today, depending on how tired I get. I might be doing two. But right after the show. Yeah, in Spanish. I got some good jokes. You guys can check them out eventually when I get better at it.
I'll learn Spanish.
Yeah,
so
man. I do stand up in Spanish. Let's see. Okay, let's see.
There's questions. I read them. I can answer. It's for me. It's not.
Yes.
The question is, yes, is there a name associated with a female voice that I heard and I hear? And if I have never been given a name with these visiting ETs, so it was never a name. I would love that. I mean, it would be familiar to me. It's
a name
never
and an address.
Yes. Where do you live? Which planet?
Let me send you a Christmas present. Let me send you. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that one. Oh, that one. I don't know anything about that one, but okay. But what I have been given so far is it's a energy signature, a sort of familiarity, and when we talk when these Arcturians are in the mix, and when I've asked. Let's say Arcturians or whoever really, or my guides or my soul, or it's really this heart-based wish, heart-based I want to hear more from you, I want to feel you, I want information to be given, and so forth. And I always have a response. It might not be, of course, as I'm sure you've heard before, might not be in a shape or form that I want, but it's there. And that's the amazing part for me. And
do you get these in an altered state of consciousness always, like when you're under the water or when you're sleeping, or sometimes it's in the middle of the day while you're working? Do these always come in an altered state of consciousness?
The more powerful ones, yes. I would say yes. Maybe even the less powerful ones, but it's more difficult for me to notice. It's like it's more clear to me that I'm, let's say, sort of in the different electrical current, different frequency. It's very intense sometimes. When I say intense, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's negative or positive. It just means that it's a lot. It's like a wave, if in water, and it can be very blissful, but it's also a lot of water. if it makes sense. Or
yes, I've gotten messages too. If it's like that, then I've gotten messages too, but they're different. It's hard to describe. Like I was in a very low place and I was in the woods meditating, just taking it in, breathing, being by myself, clearing my mind. And I had a very strong message come to me, like, everything's okay. Welcome to creation. Welcome to reality. Welcome to experiencing this life. Take it in. Enjoy it. It's wonderful. And that's when I knew that for me, it was a message from God. For me, it's a very dirty word, or a word that's maybe clouded by religious stuff, which I'm not. But I've had those kind of messages too. You know what I'm saying? Or like just just a moment of clarity where you appreciate the situation like for what it is, instead of being in that constant talking to yourself, reacting mode, like that part where you step back from that and look at yourself from the above. And those also come in very strong when I'm under the influence of cannabis. I can actually separate myself about 3 to 4 times and see myself looking at myself, thinking about what I'm thinking, and then wondering if that's the correct way to think about it. And then another part going, it's still cool, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
All
exactly,
that at
exactly.
one time.
Exactly.
Now, is that a message? Now, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it is.
I don't know
It
if
is.
that's a
It is. It
message, but
is. It is.
okay.
But, I mean,
I'm
it
with you
sounds
now.
like the I have had so much of this in a way that was disembobulating. Like it was so different. It is hard to describe. Really,
Okay.
really beautiful, ecstatic. If you imagine an orgasm and just multiply it by a lot,
Mhm.
and when I say multiply it, it just doesn't just mean stronger. It also means more of everything. And when I say everything, I mean some stuff is completely new, and it's just an intense feeling. Maybe not just electrical, definitely outer
It's a
body,
profound feeling. I
interdimensional.
think that's the word you would like. Maybe that's the word you're
For
looking for. It's
sure.
a very profound feeling. Like it touches the true I, the deepness of
Yes.
existence. Like where
Yes.
you go, ah, I get it. And I've had those, of course, for sure. I mean, without that, the channel wouldn't exist. I would still be, I don't know, hitting my head off concrete or doing whatever it is that other people do. Not everybody, but most people do still. Chase the latest trends and get the newest game or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what you're saying is that when they come to you, which I guess then I've had those messages as well. They're very profound, but sometimes they come in a female voice to you. I never had a voice so far, more of my own voice, I guess you would say.
You're familiar with channelers,
More
right?
of a tone.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Oh yes, Mark Elliott Foltz. Mark Elliott Foltz. He's channels the dead. It's very, very,
Well,
very powerful
there's
man
many channelers
or
that I
person.
like. Many channelers that I'm familiar with, but I like a few especially. So Abraham Hicks, if you're familiar with it, with her, and Saint Germain, Jeffrey
Saint
Hope,
Germain,
PP. He
Saint
channels
Germain.
Saint Germain. He channels Saint Germain. It's Jeffrey Hoppe from Colorado. Jeffrey and Linda Hoppe. I'm probably butchering the surname, but yeah. And
Maybe you can
Bashar,
send me a couple of those
Daryl
names.
Enka. He channels Bashar. These are the ones that I really resonate with. And when Bashar explained Daryl Enka, right, how he got the message at first, and the Jeffrey Hope, how he got the message on the plane, it was basically a voice of not Saint Germain, but the other one, Ascended Master, who said that he's gonna work with him now, and then they just talked. Many, for 1 year, every day or something like that, they just talked. This is what I think that I'm being prepared for. Maybe not exactly that, right? I don't know, but it sounds like it, because I've had what happens is there's an experience and there's a lot of time that passes by, and there's another very profound experience. And when I looked online, all of these that I've mentioned and many others on Gaia, there's quite a few of them. It's the same. It's like they're gradually, if you ask me, I would love it if it would be sooner, right, closer together, these experiences, but it's not. And it's like you need to reach a certain age, a certain maturity, and then it happens more, or maybe you're ready for some shit anyway. The voice wasn't that often, but it was
Okay.
very clear. And as I said, now that I can tell you at my age, 44, that I'm being ready for this type of interaction with, is it my guides? Is it ETs? It's probably many different. And I don't really know how it will go. It probably also depends on how much do I want to delve into this. So I believe we can all channel, right? We all have this innate ability, and there is a question: how do you relax for this, or some such in the question section, and I would say that it's what all of these that I've mentioned before explain. And also what you explained, Tom, is to go into nature, connect with yourself. It's like a C5 experience, and you of course should ask, or decide that you want to be protected, that you want to be safe, that you want to have a pleasant experience. So this type of how do you say this? You decide that you want to have a pleasant experience, and you also ask for this.
Your intention. Your
Yes,
intention.
yes, that's very important. And also, if you're not having a pleasant experience, you can end it. You can ask for help if you can't. If you're sort of lost, or how would you say this? You don't know what to do. And I've always had, sometimes later, sometimes sooner, I've always had some sort of assistance, help, directions, right? I'm still considering myself as a newbie, but yes, I've had many. And I also see myself as a very beginning type, because I don't know, it just feels this way. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to start winding down because my buddy Magic's show is coming up in about 15 minutes. But I want to ask you, with this whole drone situation in New Jersey, what do you think is going to happen next before I get you out of here, my friend?
Yes, the drone situation in New Jersey. What I feel, I'm going to tell you what I feel. I'm not going to tell you what I did research on through the media. What I feel is disclosure, in a sense that all of us watching, see how different compartments of either government or us that are doing the disclosure of, whoever is involved in this, are sort of disentangling their truth for themselves and for us, and it's all in the public eye. So it's like everything is coming out in the open, and it's weird. It's ultra weird because it's so disorganized. It's so like we've discussed previously, it's so like childish mistakes, like really poor planning. It's so weird, so funny. So funny, but also if you're on the worrying side, it's also really what's going on. And what I've heard over and over through these either channels or these other whistleblowers who I believe have a quite clear connection is this is very normal, right? This hectic state that we're in, and all the planets go through this. It's well known through these highly evolved races. This is what happens. So they're very prepared, and they're helping us. Me saying that I want more clearer instructions, but we are not getting them. So this is it. So it's like a really
this is what we got to work with. I got you. We're working with what we get.
Yeah, like that. But it's getting better. The energies are better. I have to say they're much better than they were 10 years ago, 2 years ago. Yeah,
I agree.
So I wonder if you guys agree. You guys, all of you guys in the chat, are you having better experience? Of course, they're still down, right? But would you say it's better than 10, 20 years ago in general, talking about energies? What's your experience?
Yeah, I would have to say mine are. They've been, just before anyone can answer, so there's no dead air. Yeah, they've been better. They've been different. I got shown that what I was doing was not what I wanted to do, to waste my life away in a factory, for example. And now I'm out here doing something that's very physically demanding, but at the same time, I'm having a ton more experiences that I've ever had before. I'm enjoying them. I do enjoy working with the people I work with. They're actually funny. They're smart. They speak highly of me. They show me a lot of things. I pick up things well. It's been quite enjoyable, but it's been difficult in a different way. But at the same time, I'm enjoying the ride. So for me, it's been better.
Better, yeah.
Yeah. So, man, thank you so much. We're going to have you
Thank
on
you.
again with Michael Cameron, and it's going to be more Super Soldier. He's
One
very well. Sure.
No, just
Absolutely.
sorry. Finish the sentence, and then I'll say it's something
No,
about Mike Cameron. Yes.
we're gonna have Michael Cameron back on in a minute here, and I think about a month. I think it's something like that.
Nice. Yes, in about a month. What I've gotten about this specific name, and this is how I get information, and I somehow get confused quite often. I got years prior. I got in advanced Michael Cameron, and at first I thought that's a guy doing that. There's something will start with Michael Cameron, right? I didn't know what really, just something
Wow.
involving this. And I first thought a few years ago that it was the Cameron, Grant Cameron, who does the better version of actual history for Egypt and for ancient cultures. Then later, I found about the UFO disclosure guy, who I think is Grant Cameron also, but not with the K, but with, I think, what's the other letter? Anyway, probably C. I think he's a well-known ufologist, and he does also. He went from a lot of information to this more questioning the experiencers, and the higher consciousness of it all and the dimensions. And then now I have you bringing up the third version, which is probably what's gonna actually happen. Is this your friend?
He's
Yeah, that's how
yes,
it
he's
works
a
for
good
me.
friend
Really
of
weird.
mine.
Yeah.
Well, one way or another, like, so if you get a premonition about it and it kind of steps and
Yeah.
moves its way over, that's really cool. He's actually looked into our episodes and he said he's very excited. I'm sure he's in the background still watching at the moment. Hi, Michael. And it's going to be a very interesting conversation, and I'm looking forward to it. And once again, I know it's very late in the morning over there, and Match's show is coming up, and we're kind of out of time. But Mark,
Sure.
thank you so very much for coming on and talking about at least the positivity to get that message out. The details are not as important as where we're going. That's what you're saying, and I like that too. I think there's something to be had in that.
I'm looking forward for the comedy. Please send me if it's anything in English. I don't know Spanish yet. I want to hear the comedy bits. Thank you.
I got some in
Thank you
English.
for
I can
everyone.
show you. They're pretty old, but I can show you them. So I was still a little rusty about 6 years ago, but
Oh well,
yeah, it's still
doesn't
funny.
matter.
I think so anyway. And thanks very much for coming on, and thanks everybody for writing in the chat and being involved in the show tonight. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Have a great time. See you next time.
See you next time,
Bye-bye.
Mark. Thank you. Bye. Ciao. So that was Mark Savnik, guys. You finally get to meet him. A different take on things. He doesn't mean he understands too. It's his. I think he speaks German as well. So at least his third language. English being the second, I'd imagine. So there's some things that may not translate over as well when he's trying to explain, but he's doing his very best. This is a man who's reached out to me, who wants to work with me and do other things like that. It might be something in the future where we both like co-host the show and people come on. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out. I have to, the finances have to get to a certain point where I have the energy to do that. This is my limit at the moment, but I'm enjoying it nonetheless. Thank you guys so much for being in the chat. Coming up next, my buddy Magical will be having on. Oh, let's see. He will be in about 7 minutes, you guys go over and check out the channel Magical Journey with the K, Magickal, and he will be having on the wonderful Daniel Hamilton, and that's right up after this. Thank you guys so much for being on the show, or being on the show, for watching the show. And remember, let me get over to I'm on the wrong spot. Like and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and get yourself a hat. Go ahead and share the channel. Download the audio. Listen to it, and try to expand this group. Try to expand the concepts and the ideas that I'm trying to put forth, which is about, basically, in the end, it's like discovering yourself through the oddities in the world, that you are a part of it as well as it's a part of you. Not all of us experience them the same or simultaneously. We're trying to help one another. We are who we are in this present moment. And isn't that great? Isn't it wonderful that, the most humans on the planet that have ever existed are here right now, probably to experience mankind's strangest, greatest change and leap into whatever's coming up next. Isn't that kind of cool in a way? Are you guys looking forward to that? I know I am, guys. So we are the eye. We are aware. Love you all. Good night.